Hello, and a good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you, the good and wonderful people of the tube. Hope you're feeling grand, and also in the world. Hello there, everybody. Today, people of the tube, as the title suggests, we're going after the Robin Trower Bridge of Size tone. The reason for this is, well, firstly, this was a video. This wasn't even going to be a video. This was something that I've just literally finished watching the interview that Rick Beato recently did with Robin, and hearing Bridge of Sighs on there again, and being a Robin Trower fan, not mega fan, but I still love the man. I love his guitar playing. I was like, I wonder if I can get that sound out of my studio vintage and my roto vibe. I wonder if I would need something else. And I got certain things set up, and I was literally just going to do it on my own, you know. Then I thought, I wonder if people of the tube would be interested in this as well, because the video I did on Peter Green, a lot of you really liked that, so I thought I'll film it and we'll see how we go. So if you like this thing, let me know, because I do this a lot on my own. Literally every other day, I'll be like, oh, I wonder if I can get that sound out of the Jubilee or the Plexi or the Katana or whatever. I'll literally do this all the time. I love hunting down other people's sounds because I know what my sound is. But it's nice to know how other people get theirs, and you can always learn. So today, after watching that interview with Robin, I was like, I wonder if I can get the Bridge of Size tone out of my studio vintage and the Dunlop Roto vibe. I was curious how close I could get to it. And Robin was talking in the interview. Actually, it's really cool, and it's something I've always said. Rick Beato said to him, "Oh, you've got a really dark sound." And Robin turned around and he said, yeah, because the Marshalls back then were a lot darker. They were a lot warmer sounding amps than today when they're quite brash. And I have to agree with him totally. Been a lucky bugger. And having been able to, being lucky enough to play through a lot of the old Marshalls, the actual Plexis, and the early 70s ones, up until they switched to the Master... Well, saying that, some of the early 70s ones, like some of the 71s, 72s, can be quite brash as well. The super basses around that time are fantastic. The super leads, not so much. But the super lead plexes, they're outrageous. But they are very, very dark. Also, people of the tube, this cab here is a 69 1970 Marshall cab with its original greenback speakers in it. Apart from that one there, which is a 1971 replacement. It obviously blew at some point, and in 1971 they put a new one in. But these are original 69 70 greenbacks. This cab is very, very dark sounding, like proper dark sounding. Not going to be using that today because I want to use just the bog standard JSM 900 cab. Because that's what this is going through, and I don't really want to have to pull these things out to unplug this cab and plug it into there, because yesterday I threw my back out and I'm in quite a substantial amount of pain, so I have to be very careful, because I would like to use the red cab, but I can't at this point in time because my back's knackered. But so we'll see how close we can get with the 900. If it doesn't sound right, then I might try and plug it in. I mean, the cool thing about these Marshall stacks behind me, they're on wheels, so I can move them around quite easily. But still, I've got to be careful because my lower back is messed up. Anyway, and that's because I carried these things around for years. So, yay. Anyway, what was it? So yeah, so today what we're going to use, let's talk about that. So we're going to use the Marshall Studio Vintage here. I don't know how we're going to run it yet. I've got no idea. I don't know if I'm going to jumper it. I don't know the EQ. I don't know anything about how I'm going to set this up yet. And then down here, I've got my Crybaby out because Robin said he used a Crybaby wah. He didn't use a Vox. He said he did have a Vox, but I've only ever seen him with, well, he uses full tone now, but the older pictures you see him with a Crybaby. And the Dunlop Roto vibe, which is one of the best uni vibes ever. And the guitar I'm going to use is my vintage V6 Icon, just because it reminds me of the guitar he's playing on the Old Grey Whistle Test when he does Bridge of Size. And like I say, we're going into the Marshall JSM 900 cab, which has got G12T /75s Celestian speakers in it. So there's 75 watt speakers, and we're basically running it all 4 speakers. I'm not reading it in stereo. I'm going to read it 16 ohm as well. So it's 16. I always find 16 is darker. 4 ohm, I don't like at all because I find it really, really bright. 8, I'm happy with 8. I can deal with 8, but 16 is my happy place. And invariably, I always wire my cabs to be 16, or on the JCM 900s, you can just select 16 ohm, which makes me very happy indeed. This cab, the red cab, actually, people would do. This is 15 ohm, which I've just loved to bits and pieces. So cool. But again, like I say, can't use that cab because of my back is spannered. But we should be okay with the 900. We should be okay. And I say, got to use the plexi because. But again, that's the thing with this, is I am going to do this. I'm going to turn everything to 0. And I have a distinct impression, people at YouTube, this is going to stay at 0 because this is a great sounding plexi. The Studio Vintage is a great sounding plexis. But in my experience of playing through old Marshall plexis from the late, mid to late 60s, this only sounds like a plexi when you run the EQ low. Unless you're playing through that cab, in which case you have to turn up the EQ because it's so dark, that cab is, you have to turn that up. But going through something like this, a more modern cab with a more modern amp, it's, the EQ doesn't really need to be into it. And again, I don't really know how I'm going to do it yet. I'm going to leave it jumpered for now. Actually, I'm going to jumper it in the traditional way. That, by the way, people, YouTube, is how I jumper this amp. If I'm going into it with my pedal board, I jumper it this way and I plug in there. That's just the way I like it. I like the way it sounds, but I'm going to do it traditional that way at this point in time. So out the high impedance of the high treble into the out the low impedance of the high channel into the high impedance on the low on the bass channel, and then coming out of the high treble channel, loudness 1 to the pedals, because I might even need a pedal to get the sustain I need to get those Robin Trower kind of like tones on Bridge of Sighs. You can hear it like the way he sustains his guitar solo. Also, I'm going to change the tuning of the riff as well, just to try and avoid a certain C word and a certain A word. But yeah, so it will be the riff, but it might sound a bit strange because of the tuning it's in. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on with it. Let's see if we can hunt down this Robin Trower tone at the Studio Vintage. This is going to be fun. Again, like I say, I do this on a regular basis on my own, but I thought today, you know what? Let's drag you along as well, see what you reckon. So let's go. Okay, people of tube, let's give this a whirl, shall we? So, plugged in, ready to go. My back is killing me, but we're going to try and muscle through. So, we're off standby. I've had the amp warming up for a long time as well, because again, I don't like playing through my valve amps. The whole 15-second thing just doesn't work for me. So, and also, it's not good for your valves. But, that's another video. So, have we got any signal? Yeah, we do. So this is going to get loud. This is going to get loud very, very fast. I need to shut that door because of how Robin got his sound. I mean, ideally, Robin didn't just use his amps. He spoke about that in the Rick Beato interview, that he didn't use his amps for all the distortion. He had a boost pedal, volume boost pedal, he called it, just to give him more sustain. Right? And Robin said he always used to put his amps on 6. So that's where we're going to go first. Let's give that a go. I'm going to put both volumes at 6, and I'm going to leave the EQ all on 0. You see what I mean already? It's good, there's not enough gain, it's too clean. Thing as well is the roto vibe ain't quite cutting it. That's not really there. Plus, it's not really doing the Univibe thing of wow, 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 it's just wom, 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 wom. It's that great descriptions, eh? But that isn't enough. So we're going to crank it. I'm going to put it on 8. So both volumes are on 8 now. It's still not there. If I crank it, I still don't think it'd be enough gain. Plus, we're going to lose gain because I've daisy chained the amp. As soon as you daisy chain a plexi, you lose a little bit of gain. I need to try all the acoustics on the wall are going, ah! I need to try a different Univibe. I'm going to try the new X Voodoo vibe for YouTube because I'm not happy with that Univibe sound. Okay, YouTube, so I've got the new X Voodoo vibe plugged in now instead. Let's see what this thing does. Put the amp back Just giving the camera a second to catch up with the volume there. That was better. Also, the Voodoo vibe was giving me more gain. The Roto vibe seems to be pulling a lot of the gain out of the amp. That is way more... You can almost hear like the amp, well, as soon as I kick on the Voodoo vibe, there's more gain. This is without... Hang on a minute. What have I done? Okay. Come on. There we go. The Voodoo vibe has a really annoying tap tempo function. We'll bleep that. Function where if you turn it on, it's really stupid because when you turn it on and go to turn it off, it thinks, oh, you've gone into tap tempo mode, and then it goes to tap tempo and you can't turn the thing off. It's the thing that keeps it off my pedal board more than anything, to be honest with you, because as a Univibe goes, it's my second favourite Univibe. The best Univibe I've ever heard that I've played through is inside the Boss Katana. I think it's fantastic. I don't know what, Boss needs to release that as a pedal. They really do. Boss, are you hearing me? Univibe pedal, please. But I'm getting more gain with the Voodoo Vibe on. So this is without. Now I'll kick on the Voodoo Vibe. I need to check that on the audio to see how close that is. That feels amazing. Feels amazing. Okay, POTT, so I'm still not 100% happy with that. Listening back to Robin's tone. Also, I think he's on the middle pickup. I don't think he's on the neck. I think he switches to the neck for the that bit. But I think the riff is in the middle. I reckon it's on the middle pickup. I know he uses them two pickups kind of almost exclusively. Very rarely ever uses the bridge pickup. So we're going to try it again in a bit, but we're going to try it in the middle pickup. But I'm going to add more pedals because I'm not happy with that. So the Roto Vibe didn't do it at all, but the Voodoo Vibe definitely does. I just listened to a quick snippet of it on the Old Grey Whistler as well, and he's got reverb on it, so we're going to put a reverb in as well. So we're going to use the New X Damp reverb at the beginning of the chain, so amp into that, and then I'm going to put the Blues Breaker Marshall pedal in to give me more gain, because Robin's got more gain than me. I need more gain. I always love more gain though, so that makes me very happy. So we're going to put all this lot in. Voila! There we go. So I'm keeping the wah pedal in as well. I'm not even going to use the wah pedal. I don't think I might turn it on at some point just to have a play with it. But the reason I'm keeping the wah pedal in is wah pedals cut treble. They cut off the high frequencies of everything because it's non-true bypass. I hate true bypass pedals. They kind of bug me. Well, not all, but true bypass wah pedals is what I should say. I don't like true bypass wah pedals at all. Other pedals, cool. Wah pedals, no. I like what a non-true bypass wah pedal takes away. Like the Ibanez WH10 V2 and the Vox wah and the Crybaby. Like they, because this is an older one, they suck out a lot of high frequencies. Like the really fizzy top end, that gets rid of that altogether. So now we have a reverb, we've got a Univibe, we've got a booster as well. And I'm using the Blues Breaker because it doesn't have as much gain, but it has a boost function. So what I'm going to do is like a clean boost. And again, Robin was saying in the interview with Rick Beato that like he had like a volume boost. That's what he called it. So that's what I'm going to do with the Blues Breaker. I'm going to kick it over to, I'll show you actually, POTT. Come with me. If I can get up and not ruin myself in the process. Let me show you what's going on down here. And I can show you the settings as well. So I don't know how the damp's going to be set up yet, but we're going to have it in, we'll put it in Hall mode, which is blue. So there we go. Fair bit of decay. Put the level about 12. Tone must be about 12 as well. So kind of around there. But like I say, here's the Blues Breaker, the BB2, and it's got boost and blues. When you're in blues mode, it's kind of like an overdrive pedal, but when in boost mode, it just works on the volume. It bypasses the drive and the tone volumes, these dials completely. and you're just on this. So I've maxed that out. That's flat out now on 10. Look, you can see me in the dials. Hello, people of the tube. Crybaby Wah is just where it is, and the Voodoo vibe I've got set up like this. So the volume and intensity are on flat out. Speed is at 12 o'clock, and I've got it in the chorus mode. And then we've got that to the Strat. Like I say, I think the tone is the middle pickup, but we'll find out in a sec. Also, people of the tube, oh my God, my back. This is how the amp's set up, so you can see. No EQ. Again, just I thought that would be the case. Loudness 1 is flat out. Loudness 2 is kind of like just before 8. There we go. I can use the phone shadow for you so you can see it even better. I think I'm going to have to turn this down now. When I stick on the blues breaker pedal, I might have to turn this down and edit it, but let's find out. We're still jumpered, although I'm really tempted to remove the jumper, to be honest with you. I don't know. Let's find out what goes on. Anyway, this is where we are now. And let's give it another go. Let's see where we can get. Also, having the reverb will give it a bit more kind of like ambience thing. And after hearing that All Ray Whistle test version, that's where I want to go. So I'm going to put you back on a tripod. Let's give this a go. Okay, off standby. Too much reverb. And turn the level down. No effects loops either, people tube, don't use them. In the room, it feels good, and I've kind of got enough, but as soon as I go for anything long and sustained, it just goes meh and dies. So, that's going to send it into overdrive. Is it going to volume jump? So I'm going to turn the level down. But not after Gary's tone, no, Dave. We're after Robin Showers. I'm going to put the reverb a bit more. I'm going to make the reverb dark as well. Okay, people tube. So to me, we're getting closer. The Blues Breaker, that volume boost on the Blues Breaker is really sending it over, and you can hear it feeding back, which is just a glorious feeling when you're playing this close to an amp like that and it starts going. Oh, it's heaven, it really is. Not sure if a reverb's adding anything. It's kind of getting lost because it's doing that thing where it is. Because you can definitely tell that reverb on that Old Grey Worcester thing is added like post. It's not. He didn't have it in the studio. That reverb is not from the studio sound, but I liked it, so I tried to incorporate it. Doesn't work. If I put it through the effects loop, it would probably work, but I'm just going to admit it so we can forget the damp. But the Blues Breaker is doing its job. That extra volume jump, like say, it's just kicking the Marshall in the front of the, kicking it in the face just a little bit more, and just making it just sing, making it absolute sing. And it definitely feels more like the middle pickup to me, that riff. It really does. And again, it's loud, and I love that. But it does sound... I'm getting carried away, people, because it's a wicked sound! I didn't mean to shout then, but I'm getting a bit... You know what I mean? Ah! I kind of went off on a tangent there. I was trying to emulate Robin's more kind of frantic kind of playing, and I don't think I did it, but I tried. But the Blues Breaker hitting that thing in the front of the face a bit more. What I am going to do, I'm going to turn the amp down to 6 again, like where Robin said he had his, and I'm going to boost up the Blues Breaker and see what happens, see if it makes a difference in sound. Because he's not wrong, when you turn up the Marshalls, especially old ones, this one not so much actually. I think it's because it's a bit more modern, it's a little bit, it can handle being flat out. But when you turn up an old Marshall, once you get it to about 7 or 8 on the dial, it starts to kind of go, it becomes bloated, and the bottom end becomes a little bit too much. Like, even with the bass all the way off, they're a bit fat and woolly. This one doesn't do that, which is really cool. But again, I think it's because it's a modern one, it's not a vintage one. But I'm going to turn the amp down to 6. So I've got both volumes now at 6. And we'll kick on the Blues Breaker again and see what happens. Because let the pedal do a bit more heavy lifting. In relation to where I just had it, let's see. Okay, funny enough, I prefer it with the volumes at 6 and the Blues Breaker doing a bit more heavy lifting. What do you reckon, POTT? Which one was your favourite? Was it better with the brightness volume all the way up, or was it better with the volumes on 6 and the Blues Breaker doing more heavy lifting? For me, the Blues Breaker doing more of the heavy lifting sounded better. It felt better to play as well. It felt tighter. I do like spongy feelings, amps. I like that. I like when they kind of feel a bit kind of funny, like spongy under your fingers. But that one felt a bit more like it. So let's give that a go with the riff. I love this. Anyway. Too much gain. I'm gonna have a listen to that, see how close that feels very close. Okay, POTT, funny enough, listening back, I actually prefer it when the amp was flat out to having it dialed back. I'm just going to try that one more time. So that's now the amp on 10. Both volumes are on 10. And I've got the Blues Breaker on. And I'm going to stick the Univibe on. I'm going to try it one more time. Robin's got this kind of fuzziness, darker sound about his tone that I'm not quite getting. And I think I'll get it if that's flat out. check that one now as well. Okay, POTT, that's me done. That's as close as I can probably get. So I'll just turn them down. Don't know why I did that, but that's where I had the volumes. I jumpered like this. I know Robin would have daisy chained his Marshalls together, so it's kind of gives a similar kind of vibe, but not really. But it's kind of neither here nor there at this point in time because I'm doing this. But I had volumes flat out. I had the EQ completely flat on 0 because again, like I say, the old Marshalls are a lot darker than the new ones. Even this one, like Robin was talking about the amps he uses now, the 50-watt plexes, the 1987Xs. I used to have one of them. And he was saying he's had to have them modded because it was too bright and trebly compared to the old ones. And I found that with mine. I sold mine because of that. It was just so bright. And again, having been looking to play through some old ones, I was like, why don't they sound like that? Where's the warmth of the sound? It's really, really brash. And this amp's really, really good. I love this thing to bits. But I still very rarely ever touch the EQ on it. It's only every now and again kind of thing. But coming back to that, I feel that's really close. I feel that's really close. And the sound is addictive. So addictive, right? Ridiculous. It's absolutely outrageous. So let me show you quickly. Like I say, this is how the amp was set up. No EQ whatsoever, all on 0. Both volumes were flat out on 10. And then down here, I did actually turn back up the gain on the blues breaker, well, the volume on the blues breaker. When I first started playing the last example, I had it at, well, where it is now, which is, it's really hard to see, but I had it there and then I turned it down and I turned it back up again. So it's about 1 o'clock on that, and I had it in the boost mode. So the drive and the tone, they're not doing anything. It's bypassed them. And then the Uni Vibe, the Voodoo Vibe here, I just had the intensity and volume all the way up, speed at 12. Guitar-wise, I was using the middle pickup and the neck pickup, switching between, you could see. The tones were flat out on 10 the entire time. I was messing with the volume. And that's it. I had the guitar in E flat as well, just to try and, well, we'll see if it avoids the C word. And pickups are fairly high-ish on my vintage. A lot higher than some of my other guitars. They just sound really nice there. And this guitar is completely stock as well. There's no mods to that at all. It's just a stock V6 Icon. Anyway, POTT, there you go. Let me know in the comment section below. How close do you think that was to Robin Trower's Bridge of Sighs tone? Because I feel that was pretty close. I feel that was really close. And it felt great. I love loud amplifiers. I love it when Marshalls are cranked to the teeth. There's just something about the way they feel when you play things loud. It's just, you can't get it at lower volumes. There's an energy and a feel to it that just makes you go, it gets in you, and it riles you up, and it's fantastic, and I love it. And I say, that Plexi just does that in spades. It's such a good amp. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, POTT. Also, do you like this kind of videos? Because like I said, the Peter Green video did really, really well. And today wasn't even going to be a video. I was going to do this regardless, because I watched that interview and I was like, oh, I would love to try and get that Bridge of Sighs tone, like see how close I can get with the Plexi. And so I was doing it regardless, but I thought I'd drag you along as well, see what you reckon and see if you enjoyed it as well. So let me know in the comment section below. Also, like I say, let me know if it was close or whatever. Let me know your thoughts, POTT. Anyway, thanks very much indeed for watching. If you like what I do on this channel, please consider becoming a patron at Patreon. It really helps the channel out, keeps it alive. Other than that, thank you very much indeed for being here. I hope you enjoyed this vid. And like I say, if you want to see more of these vids, I do this a lot on my own. I pretty much do it all on my own. I mess about with sounds and prattling about with trying to get other people's sounds or weird sounds or whatever on my own. If you'd like to see more of these kind of vids, just let me know, because like I say, it never enters my mind to really film them. It only did today because the Peter Green vid I did last week did really well. So let me know your thoughts. Anyway, could I like Tones Tuesday or something like that? I don't know. It's an idea. Let me know. Anyway, thank you very much indeed for watching. I'll see you again. And if you've never cranked a Plexi, go to a place where you can, because joy to the world is one of the most amazing things of all time and space. See you later. Have a great one. Goodbye now. Cheers.